You've felt that sting before. The disrespect, the eye roll, the sarcastic comment in front of other people. They poked you, and you reacted. You argued. You explained. You over-justified. You replayed the moment in your head for days, thinking, I should have said this. I should have done that. That's not because you're weak. It's because no one taught you the power of a controlled tongue and a calm mind. Right now, you might feel like a man constantly tested by partners who take you for granted, by friends who joke at your expense, by bosses who talk down to you, by strangers online who hide behind screens. You keep feeling this pressure to prove yourself, to explain yourself, to defend your dignity with words. But here's the hidden problem. The more you explain, the less they respect you. The more you argue, the more they feel in control. The louder you get, the smaller you look. Stoicism cuts straight through that illusion. Stoicism says, your power is not in their reaction. Your power is in your response. Marcus Aurelius said, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. In the modern world, that strength looks like this. You don't chase arguments. You don't beg to be understood. You don't dance for validation. You become the man whose calm makes the room uncomfortable. The man whose silence hits harder than other people's shouting. The stoic warrior who doesn't swing at every insult because he knows his value is not on trial. In this video, you're going to learn 5 smart responses that will quietly shut people down. No drama, no screaming match. Just clean, sharp, respectful power. These are responses you can use with the partner who keeps pushing your buttons, the friend who crosses the line, the co-worker who disrespects you, the family member who thinks they can say anything to you. You'll see how modern psychology backs this up. People only keep disrespecting what they know they can control. When your responses change, their behavior changes, or they leave your life. Either way, you win. By the end, you won't just know comebacks. You'll carry yourself differently. You'll speak less, but mean more. You'll feel that dangerous calm settle in your chest, the calm of a man who is not easily moved. Before we dive in, pause and claim this for yourself. If you're serious about becoming unshakable, about earning respect without begging for it, make sure you're subscribed and share this with someone who needs stronger boundaries. This channel is for men who are done living on their knees. And right now, type this in the comments as your first act of discipline. I choose calm over chaos. Because that's where it starts. Not with shouting, not with the perfect insult, but with a decision. From this moment on, you respond like a stoic warrior, not a desperate man. In the next part, you're going to discover the first response. A simple, powerful line that turns the spotlight back on anyone who tries to belittle you and leaves them with nothing to say. You remember what we said at the start. Your power is in your response, not their reaction. Now it's time to put that into action. Here's the first smart response. I call it the blade of calm agreement. Someone throws a jab at you. You're so sensitive. You're not even that good at your job. She probably left because you weren't enough. Your old self-defense argues, explains. Your new self looks them in the eye and calmly says, you might be right. Then you shut up. No emotion, no sarcasm, just a calm, rounded delivery. Psychologically, this does 2 things. First, it kills their expectation. They wanted to fight. They wanted to see you scramble to protect your ego. When you don't, their brain has nowhere to go. Second, it shows you're not fragile. When you can hold a possibility without collapsing, you're signaling deep strength. Weak men need to prove themselves. Strong men can sit with doubt and stay centered. Marcus Aurelius gives you the backbone for this. He said, choose not to be harmed, and you won't feel harmed. Don't feel harmed, and you haven't been. When they insult you, that's an event. When you feel shattered, that's a choice. By saying, you might be right, you are choosing not to be harmed. You're telling your nervous system, we don't dance for every insult anymore. Picture this at work. Your boss snaps. You clearly don't know what you're doing. You feel the heat rise, then you breathe. You might be right. What exactly do you want changed? You haven't surrendered. You've simply refused to make it personal. You stay in control, focused on action, not ego. Identity shift. I am the man who doesn't shatter when tested. Now we move to the second response. I call this one the wall of respect. It sounds like this. I don't speak to you like that. Don't speak to me like that. Simple, direct, firm, no yelling, no name calling, just a clear mirror held up to their behavior. Psychologically, this sets a boundary and exposes the imbalance. Most disrespect continues because it's never challenged. The moment you calmly reflect it back, you force them to see themselves. In relationships, this is crucial. Your partner raises their voice, throws low blows, uses your insecurities as weapons. Old you reacts, begs, escalates. New waits for a pause, looks at them and says, I don't speak to you like that. Don't speak to me like that. Then silence. If they care, they'll correct themselves. If they don't, they'll get angry, mock you, or double down. Either way, they've revealed who they are. Your job is done. Seneca said, associate with people who are likely to improve you. In modern language, you teach people how to treat you by what you tolerate. This sentence is you drawing the line in the sand. You are saying, I am not your emotional punching bag. Use it with friends who joke too far. Use it with family that thinks blood gives them permission to disrespect you. Use it with anyone who thinks your silence equals submission. Identity shift. I am the man whose boundaries speak louder than my anger. If this is hitting you, pause and like the video. It tells the algorithm there are still men out there who want strength, not softness. And if you haven't yet, subscribe so you don't slip back into your old patterns alone. Because next, we're going deeper. You've seen how calm agreement and clear boundaries can silence disrespect. In the next part, you'll learn responses that don't just shut people down. They change the entire dynamic of how people approach you. You've already felt it. What happens when you don't take the bait? When you agree calmly instead of exploding? When you draw a line with steady eyes instead of raised volume? That's the beginning of real power. Now we sharpen it. You've seen the blade of calm agreement. You've built a wall of respect. Now you need something more surgical. A response that doesn't just shut people up, it exposes them. The third response is this, the mirror question. It sounds like, what did you mean by that? Or, why would you say that? That's it, but you say it slow, calm, and then you let silence do the work. Psychologically, this is brutal. Most disrespect hides behind jokes, half-truths, and passive-aggressive comments. People feel safe when their attack is indirect. The moment you ask, what did you mean by that? You drag their words into the light. Picture a friend saying in front of others, bro, you always mess things up. It's just who you are. Everybody laughs. You feel that sting. Oldie laughs along, then goes home irritated. New looks him straight in the eye and says, what did you mean by that? Now he has to choose. Own the disrespect, backpedal, or expose his insecurity. Either way, the room feels it. You're not the clown anymore. You're the mirror. Epictetus warned about this dynamic. He said, if evil be spoken of you and it be true, correct yourself. If it be a lie, laugh at it. Modern translation, if the comment is true, use it as feedback. If it's false, don't let it pierce you. The mirror question helps you figure out which one it is. When you ask, why would you say that? You're not being sensitive. You're being precise. You're telling the world, my dignity is not a playground. Identity shift. I am the man who makes people own their words. Now the fourth response. It's colder, heavier. This one changes how people approach you long term. I call it the door close. It sounds like this. I'm not continuing this conversation. And then you stop talking, or you walk away, or you hang up. Not in rage, not slamming doors, just a clean, final cut. Psychologically, this destroys chaotic people. They feed on reaction, on your emotional participation. The moment you say, I'm not continuing this conversation, you take away their food source. Picture a partner spiraling, yelling, throwing every past mistake in your face. You've tried explaining, you've tried fixing. It never ends. Nui waits for a gap, keeps your voice low, and says, I'm not continuing this conversation. While it's like this, we can talk when we're both calm. Then you leave the room. Phone goes down. Car keys stay on the table. You exit. Marcus Aurelius gives you the spine here. He wrote, get away from petty people. It is better to be alone than in bad company. Today, bad company isn't just who you hang out with. It's the emotional climate you allow yourself to be dragged into. The door closes as you're choosing your peace over their chaos. Use it with a boss who keeps shouting instead of talking. Use it with family who turn every discussion into a war. Use it when someone is no longer speaking to solve, but to wound. You're not running away. You're refusing to fight in the mud. Identity shift. I am the man who chooses my battlefield. If this is waking something up in you, drop a I choose my battlefield in the comments. And keep watching, because we're not done. You've now learned how to agree without submitting, how to demand respect, how to expose hidden disrespect, and how to walk away from chaos. In the next part, we're going to turn all of this into something even bigger. A new way of seeing yourself. A dangerous calm that follows you into every room, every argument, every test. You've noticed it already. Something is shifting. When you say, you might be right, and don't flinch. When you calmly draw the line with, don't speak to me like that. When you stare straight through the joke and ask, what did you mean by that? When you walk away with, I'm not continuing this conversation. The old version of you would have exploded, begged, over-explained. Now it's different. Your silence is louder. Your calm is heavier. Your presence feels dangerous. That's not an accident. That's Stoicism doing its work. Up until now, we've been sharpening weapons. A blade of agreement. A wall of respect. A mirror. A closed door. Now you need something deeper. Not just a response. A code. Because a warrior isn't defined by the sword in his hand. He's defined by the standard he lives by when no one is watching. This is the fifth response. The one that ties all the others together. I call it the unshakable standard. It sounds like this. This doesn't work for me. Or, this is not acceptable to me. That's it. No lecture. No long speech. No essay on morality. Just a clear statement of your standard. Then you hold the line. Psychologically, this is huge. Most men argue about who's right. Stoic men state what they will and will not allow, then act accordingly. You're not trying to convince them. You're not trying to change them. You're simply revealing your code. Picture a partner who keeps flirting with others for fun. Old you argues, gets jealous, scrolls through their phone, loses sleep. New you says, listen, this doesn't work for me. I don't do disrespect in my relationships. Then you watch. They either rise to meet that standard, or they fall away from your life. At work, your manager hints you should lie to a client. Old you bends, swallows your integrity to keep the peace. New you says, that's not acceptable to me. I'm not willing to do that. And you stand there, rooted, ready for the consequences. Marcus Aurelius gives the backbone for this code. He wrote, if it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it. That's your compass in the storm. When you say, this doesn't work for me, you're not being dramatic. You're aligning your actions with what is right and true for you. Seneca adds another layer. He said, it is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it. How much time have you wasted in situations that didn't work for you, with people who drained you, in jobs that suffocated you, because you were afraid to say, this is not acceptable to me? The battlefield isn't just out there, it's inside you. Every time you stay somewhere your soul has already left, you lose another inch of ground. Identity shift. I am the man who lives by a clear standard, not by fear. Look at the path behind you in this video. You learn to deflect attacks without collapsing. You learn to build walls without screaming. You learn to hold mirrors instead of swallowing poison. You learn to walk off the battlefield when the fight is beneath you. And now, you've claimed a personal code. That's not just behavior. That's identity. You are becoming the Stoic warrior in the storm. Calm, controlled, clear on what you stand for and what you will never tolerate again. If this is resonating, drop this in the comments. I live by my standards, not their approval. Because in the final part, we're going to pull all of this together. No more theory. No more nice ideas. You will get your marching orders. Exactly how to carry these 5 responses into your daily life, so that disrespect, chaos, and manipulation bounce off you like rain off armor. You've sharpened the sword. You've tested it in small battles. Now it's time to step fully into who you are becoming. Look at how far you've come in this one video. You started as the man replaying conversations in his head, arguing with ghosts, thinking of the perfect comeback days too late. Now you're holding 5 weapons. 5 calm, precise responses that don't just silence people. They change you. You might be right. You're no longer fragile. You don't shatter when someone questions you. You let the fire burn around you, and you stay centered. I don't speak to you like that. Don't speak to me like that. You're no longer the doormat. You don't accept disrespect wrapped as jokes, or that's just how I am. You've built a wall of respect around your dignity. What did you mean by that? You're no longer the quiet target. You expose passive aggression with a single question. You force people to see what they're actually saying. I'm not continuing this conversation. You're no longer addicted to drama. You know when to walk away, when to end the war, when to choose peace over pointless victory. This doesn't work for me. This is not acceptable to me. You're no longer living by other people's chaos. You live by your standard now. Your code. Your path. This is what Stoic power looks like in the modern world. Not a stone-faced statue. A man whose emotions are leashed, not caged. A man who feels deeply, but is not ruled by those feelings. Epictetus gave you the blueprint for this life. He said, freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control. When someone disrespects you, that's beyond your control. When someone misjudges you, lies about you, leaves you, mocks you, beyond your control. But how you respond, that's where your freedom lives. Every time you use these responses, you're doing more than handling a situation. You're telling your nervous system a new story. You're saying, I am not a slave to my anger. I am not a slave to their opinion. I am not a slave to disrespect. You're rewiring yourself into a man who can stand in the storm and not bow his head. So here are your marching orders. This week, choose one response and use it once. Don't wait for the perfect moment. It might be with a friend. It might be with family. It might be in a text. But when the moment comes, don't go back to your old script. Pause, breathe, use the line, then stay calm. After you've done that, come back and watch this again. Because repetition builds identity. You're not going to master this in a day, but you can become a different man over months and years if you keep showing up like this. If this video hit you, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with another man who's tired of being walked over. Like the video so the algorithm knows there's still men who care about strength, dignity, and self-respect. Subscribe and stay in this community of Stoic warriors who are done begging for respect and are ready to embody it. And now, seal this identity with a final affirmation in the comments. I respond with calm power. Type it out, not as a cute line, as a commitment. Because the next time someone tries to humiliate you in front of others, the next time someone tests your boundaries, the next time chaos comes knocking at your door, you won't need to scream. You won't need to prove anything. You'll look them in the eye, say exactly what needs to be said, or walk away without a single extra word. and they'll feel it. That's the day they stop seeing you as someone they can play with and start seeing you as what you truly are. A calm, dangerous, unshakable Stoic warrior who bows to no one but his own highest standard.